All right, here's my complaints. The beach, there were enough people around that when I go to the ocean, what I want to listen to is the ocean. I want to hear the waves rolling in. I want this peace. But there was always somebody out there with a stereo playing music. And what they're playing, because Gulf Shores is, I've said this to Hannah, and I think this is true. The whole country goes to Florida and Myrtle Beach. The whole east side of the country, that's where I feel like they go. The southern people go to Gulf Shores. So much of the music was modern day country, just modern day radio country, where it just has that tweeting sound. I remember in our cars when I was in high school, they had what they called tweeters. I don't know if that was the official name, but they would have them in the front of the car, usually in the front corner by your door, your like if your driver's side door, it'd be right above your left eye there, and it would be a little speaker, and it would do the t t t t t, like you would hear the cars going down the road, and you could hear that t t t t t. I can't describe it, but it's that, and it's a clapping kind of noise. That's what is filled with New Country. New Country is filled with those sounds, just some kind of clapping, chirping, tweeting sound. And I don't know what that is. And then the music is all taking itself too seriously and too melodramatic. I'm not into it. In my opinion, on a regular beach, there's two forms of acceptable music. There's classic rock, that's acceptable, and there's yacht rock. Those are the two forms, and yacht rock is basically classic rock, but a bit of a beach vibe. That's it. If you like pina coladas getting caught in the rain, that's beach music. That's acceptable. Maybe if you're in Jamaica, we're doing reggae. Depends on where you're at. But a southern beach, it feels like classic rock and yacht rock. That's all that's acceptable. But there's so much new country, and it's just, I prefer no music. We're polluting the air out here. We finally made a trip down to the beach. I just want to hear the waves crashing in. We're too stimulated. I think there was a time when, we weren't stimulated everywhere we went. So out on the beach, listening to some music was pretty fun. I think that time's passed. Or maybe I'm just a grump. But I also think not everybody wants to hear your music. I have a Bluetooth speaker that I like to play. But I'm very self-aware. I take it with me to hotels, and I'll play music on the Bluetooth speaker in my hotel. Never too loud, never late at night, but I will play music for myself. I'll play it around the house, stuff like that. Never where I feel like it's disturbing other people. That's my rule. I think it's a good rule to live by. Don't make people listen to what you're listening to, unless you're a DJ. And if you're a DJ, you should be good and you should be able to read the room. That's what I think. Here's my other complaint about people at the beach. I don't like when people are fishing at the beach. What are you doing? People are swimming out here. Now, I don't know a lot about ocean fishing, but I know that when you're fishing in a lake, you use a bait to bring in the kind of thing that you want to catch. But you might be fishing for a bass, but you catch a brim. Or you might, I don't know. At least, all right, I'll say this. When I used to fish for catfish, sometimes we would catch brim. I don't know a lot about bass fishing. I think you need a little fish kind of lure, and you got to throw it and then kind of reel it in slow. I think that's how it goes. Catfish, you just have a little, that's really all the kind of fishing that we would do. You would have a little, what do they call it, a little bobber on there. A little floater, and then you would hang down. You put some weights on your string and hang a little hook, put a worm on it, throw it out. The bobber's in there. It's just floating, and you wait for it to get pulled down, and that means you got a bite, and you reel it in. That's the kind of fishing I always did. Sometimes you catch a brim when you're trying to catch a catfish. That's how it goes. So I don't think the people are fishing for sharks, but I don't know what they're using. And I don't want you to bring in any fish to where I'm swimming. I want fish the last thing on their mind to be, I bet there's food up by that beach. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why we allow people to just fish on the beach. Now, people are fishing off the pier, and I think that's okay, I guess. I mean, it's still the same water, but, in that sense, it's like, hey, don't swim around the pier. Don't fish around the beach. Don't swim around the pier. I think those are good rules to live by, and I don't care for it. I don't care for the fishing. I would rather you play music on the beach than fish out of the beach. And also, we made our little camp, and we found a giant hook in the sand where my kids are playing, a giant rusty hook where somebody got sloppy with their fishing. Maybe it was just an accident, but still, you left a hook. Could have given us all tetanus out there, even though I'm not sure I believe in tetanus. No, I guess gangrene is real, but I don't know if I believe in tetanus.